Hey YouTube, today we have the Ontario RTAK 2 made in the USA. Now this is a very large, I guess I can't say a very large, but it is a large survival class knife. This isn't a review, I'm just going to give a few quick specs on it, but this is more of customizing it a little bit. So we'll just jump right in it. This has a nylon sheath. Let's see, Ontario RTAK USA. It is MOLLE compatible. I don't think you would be putting this size of a knife on your pack, but if you want to, it's still there. Like I said, nylon sheath. It does have a belt loop. Here's the front of it. Has two restraining straps and a pouch. Put whatever you want in there. Same old story: fire steel, sharpener, survival kit, whatever you want. It does have two holes in the bottom to strap to your leg because it is such a large knife. You don't want this thing flopping around on you. We'll go ahead and jump into the knife. Now I have used this quite a bit in Central Texas, the hill country, chopping mesquite and cactus, thorn bushes, things of that. We'll get into the knife. As you see, I do have quite a bit of wear on it. Now, I did not clean this knife after the use, and as you can see, there is a little bit of rust on it. But as expected, didn't take care of it because I knew I was going to be changing up and cleaning it anyways. But here's the knife. We'll go over a few quick specs on it. It is made from 5160 high carbon steel, spring steel if you would. Overall length is 16 5/8 inches. It is a drop point, and the blade length here is 10 1/4 inch. Thickness is 3/16, and they state that it is 56 to 58 HRC. Now I have a Rockwell hardness, and I did get this at 58, so pretty spot on with that. It is a full flat grind. I don't know if you can see straight on the plunge line there, it is full high. And a coating that it comes with is a mil-spec phosphate finish. Most of the knives coming out today do have some sort of finish on these high carbon steels for corrosion resistance, or to protect it, not so much resistance. But I'm not a big fan on these type finishes. A lot of people say they cause a lot of drag and whatnot, but once you do use it, it does flatten out, and it's very smooth right here on the cutting edge, or above the cutting edge where I've used it quite a bit. It's still rough up here. I'm not a personal fan of it, and that's what this video is about. I'm gonna go ahead and change this up a little bit, but this does have micarta handles, 3/8 thick slabs on it, removable, with a 5/16 Allen head. Wrench will take that off. Now, one thing I'll point out with this knife, it is a large blade and a large handle. Now, I wear large gloves, and when you get this thing right out of the box, you hold on to it and you just look at it like that's a knife. But after using it, because you have two 3/8 inch slabs and 3/16 blade stock on the full tang, it is quite thick. You do feel some hot spots into here coming around the inside of your thumb when you're using it quite a bit. Even bringing it down, it doesn't feel too bad because you got this little curvature here to hold on to, and it's not too bad. But if you have smaller hands, I wouldn't recommend this unless you prepare to make a little bit of changes to the handle, maybe thin them out a little bit, and that's probably what I'm going to do as well. It does have a lanyard hole. Like I said before, it is full tan construction on it, micarta handles. That's really about it. I'm not going to go too much into the knife itself at this point. Yeah, you can see all that rust on there. But coming right out of the box, this thing did not have a sharp edge. It would not cut paper. I like all my knives sharp, and after using it, I have not done anything, but you could see I got quite a bit of pressure on there, and it won't cut anything. But we'll fix that. So we're going to go ahead and stop the video now and get into what we're going to do to this thing. Alright, stay tuned. Okay, so here we are. I have just removed the fastening bolts to it. You have 2 screws, flathead screws, and what appears to be a brass threaded stud or bushing in there. You can see there is some Loctite in there. If it'll focus. I just won't focus, but there is some red Loctite in there, and you can feel it pulling it out. But put those to the side and take these slabs off. Here they are, micarta slabs. Put that to the side. And here is the full tan construction, and I don't know if you could hear that. And that coating, it's not real thick. It's not thick as most, but like I said before, I'm just not a fan of it. So what I'm going to attempt to do is, this is Tough Strip, heavy duty stripper from Crown. It is kind of a semi-paste. It's more for stripping paint or whatever off of vertical surfaces. So it is kind of thicker, and thought that might aid on this type material. It says 15-minute or less. I'm going to probably go quite a bit longer than that, but I'll check it. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take all this coating, or all this debris and wood marks, mud marks, cactus, get everything all cleaned up for it. I'm just going to use WD-40 to get everything off, and then clean it up with some acetone, and we'll see how that works. I am interested to see how the markings here come out after we remove this. I don't think they are laser engraved. It doesn't quite feel like it, but I'm really not sure. You see at the top there, the logo goes all the way to the top. You pick that up, but yep. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and clean that up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have just cleaned the blade up. I didn't get everything off of it. This will all be coming off anyways. I can see a lot of the tannin marks on here. You can pick that up. Now we're going to go ahead and strip this off. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. It's a great knife, 80 bucks, so you know, if I mess it up, I'm sure I can always fix it. One thing I did want to point out about this knife was this forward finger choil for a choked up grit, for a little bit of finesse work. In my opinion, this forward choil is not deep enough into the handle tang, if you will. Whenever you put your finger around it, and like I said, I don't have huge hands, but if this knife was sharp, that corner would catch you every single time. If you bring, you know, obviously like that, you're okay, but you know, you're not doing this too much. You're always going to be gripped up. So that's maybe another thing I might do. I have a 2x72 belt grinder, and I might bring that up a little bit. I have a water cooling system on it, so I'm not terribly worried about changing the temper on it. Well, we'll see how that goes later. But we'll go ahead and jump into the tough strip here. Got it shooken up. Just using a disposable paint tray to do this in. Go ahead and get everything ready. Got a little sponge brush and this. I'm not too worried about painting it on there evenly. I'm just going to dump it on and smear it up a little bit. Make sure it's all covered. Flip this around, make sure both sides are even. It's surprising the stripper doesn't have too strong of a smell come off or the fumes. Go ahead and get that spine real good. Oop, a little slippery. Alright. As far as I can tell, that's everything covered in it. Now, might be a little redundant, but go ahead and make sure this is going to be saturated through the whole process. Probably used way more than I needed to, but yeah, we'll see. And I do recommend to wash your hands, obviously, when you get done with this. I can already feel it kind of burning through the latex here. Go ahead and take these off. Oh yeah, I guess I had holes in it. But we'll go ahead and let that sit. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are back. Just had to go wash my hands. This stuff is pretty strong. It doesn't have a whole lot of fumes off of it, but it is strong. Obviously, it is stripper. But here it is soaking. I'll probably leave it soaking for about an hour, hour and a half or so, and see how she comes along. I am debating on the finish that I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I'm just going to do a satin finish to it, or gun blue, maybe give it that fallout look and go ahead and get an acid bath and stone wash it. I'm not really sure yet. I guess it really depends on how that markings come out. I would like to save the markings if I can. If I can't, or if they come distorted or anything, I'll just bead blast it off, and I may just stone wash it. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, go ahead and stick around and see how easily this stuff comes off. Hey guys, welcome back. So originally I decided to leave this for an hour, hour and a half, and after 30 minutes of letting it sit, I did flip it. I was worried about the flat surfaces sealing on itself and not letting the stripper do its work. But after an hour, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, the stuff was coming off very lightly. So I decided to leave it in overnight. So it's been sitting for about 8.5 hours. Now, I fully expected this to just be peeling off at this point, but it's not. And what we're going to do is use a razor, Scotch-Brite pads, and some steel wool, and see how easily this comes off for now before we get in any machinery. So go ahead and stick around, and I'll go ahead and start cleaning that up. I'm not going to film any of this. I'm sure it's going to take a little while, and I don't want to bore y'all. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, I figured I'd give you a quick update while I'm doing this. It is coming off much easier than I thought it would. That was one pass with a razor. I thought this stuff was on there quite a bit more, or it would be a little bit harder to come off, but it is coming off quite nicely. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yep, so I'll go ahead and stop the video real quick and continue on. Okay, so here we are again. Now this coating has been a pain. I used Scotch-Brite and steel wool, got most of it off, and I just got impatient with it and went ahead and put it on the Scotch-Brite on the belt grinder. So to get a nice satin finish on there, and I am happy with the way the emblem's coming out. So it is etched in. Feels like it anyways. But you can see there in the ricasso and the plunge line, it's still really caked on there. It's not coming off as well as the tip. It's very smooth, just make it even harder to come out without overheating anything. Spots here as well. Handles came out alright. All that came off just fine. Spine. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put another coat on. Now that stripper has broken down all the big stuff. Hopefully all the finish that was underneath will come off a little easier. So yeah, I'll go ahead and just coat this the same way. And I did use two of these this time. The stripper ate through it last time. Got some holes and peeling and everything on my mat. No biggie. Alright. Go get a brush and brush that on there and let it sit. Got a few other things I'm working on today, so we got time to let that sit. This being one of them. Nice big chopper. We'll see how that turns out. Go ahead and stay tuned. I'm going to stop the video now and let that soak for about an hour, 2 hours or so. Hey guys, we're back. Sitting in front of my 2x72 belt grinder and my dog. So when I left, I was trying to get all the big spots of that coating off. I did get it all off, but it did stain it. The thicker spots where it was coated on there, and that is not coming out. I still got a little bit left in the plunge, but what I'm about to do now is that forward finger choil that I was talking about. I am going to bring that up a little bit, and I have marked it basically where my finger would set, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. I have a brand new 60 grit belt on and the coolness. Go ahead and turn your volume down a little bit. It will be a little loud. Okay, so as you see, I have brought that up just about to the line on this side here. Again, that was at 60 grit. Yeah, that's already much further away on that choked up grip. I'm going to go ahead and switch belts and probably go up 120 and 220 just to smoothen it out. Probably chamfer these ends here, just they're not so 90, deburr them a little bit. Okay guys, I just finished cleaning up that forward finger choil. I'm having to use my iPhone now. I don't have my camera set up, but I did chamfer the ends here. It is nicely round off and very smooth. I don't know if you can see it now, but even choked up now, I am away from that blade, as before I was up like this on the corner. So that'll be pretty nice. I have the flat platen set up with Scotch-Brite, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up to a semi-satin finish. I did decide to gun blue it. One thing you do want to do whenever you're gun bluing is definitely get all these grind lines out in all the same direction. The gun blue process will magnify these grind lines or scratches, and you'll see when I do it on this one. I'm not making this one picture perfect. It's gonna get beat up anyways, but just gonna give you the process. Another thing with all this, I realize not everyone has a belt grinder and everything, but if you're want to make the same modifications to this style knife or another one, you can use these little carbide bits to clean this out with a Dremel. It will take a little bit more time, but definitely is doable than just some sandpaper to smooth it all out. And then the satin finish with Scotch-Brite, obviously on here is a lot easier, but I have used this in the past. It's just my sanding block, just a piece of mild steel with some rubber on there. You know, you just fold that over and just keep doing push strokes, pull strokes. You know, you can do back and forth for a while, but it is nice to go one direction to get all those lines to fade together. But I'm going to go ahead and put the mask on, and I'll do about a minute or so to show you the process of this. I don't want the video being too long, but I'll jump right into it then. Alright, that's basically what I'm going to be doing there. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. I got smudges all over it. But you can see how all those lines are starting to blend in together, except for all this from the fluid. Yeah, I'll just continue on with that, get them all cleaned up and then prepped up, and we'll start on gun bluing. Okay guys, here we are back on the bench. Just finished getting the Scotch-Brite satin finish complete. See all those lines all in the same direction. Still got some more of that, little bit of that coating in the plunge line on that side. Just won't come out. I'm not too worried about it. I have cleaned the blade with acetone. It's real important that you get all the grease and fingerprints and everything off of the blade where you're going to be using the gun blue. This is the gun blue that I'm going to use. There is a lot of different kind. It's just what I have on hand right now. So you're going to need the gun blue, some sort of dish. You don't want to mix what you've applied to the steel with the content still in the bottle. Just kind of like any kind of rust inhibitor, you'll contaminate what's left in the bottle there. Got a few cotton balls and some Q-tips just to go around the finger choil area and blade, or the spine I should say. Got a mask. The stuff's not real strong, but it does have an odor. Regular old steel wool. Once we put a coat on it, we go ahead and varnish it and put another coat on, varnish it, kind of give it that aged look to it. One thing I will point out is whenever we do start applying this gun blue, you always want to go in one direction. When you do go back and forth, you get these J loops, and you will see them in your gun blue. So wherever you start, just nice long strokes with it evenly. And it really is easy to do. I'll go ahead and do a few passes just to show you my technique. There's 100 different ways you can do it, and I am no expert at this. I just like tinkering around. So I'm going to stop the video, get ready, and then I'll show you the first process. Okay, here we go for the first coat. I got the gun blue in the dish here. Go ahead and start applying this. Now I do dab it just to kind of get the surface of the cotton ball flat and the fluid even on there. You will see right away this just starts changing. And that's what you're looking for. You can see, well, no, you can't. Let me get you a little closer. See those lines that I'm talking about? Now, if you would go, back and forth, you'll see those loops every time you've stopped and started, stopped and started. That's what we're trying to avoid. I'm not too worried about underneath the handle. I'll get right here where the ricasso is exposed. See how fast that acts. Now we'll only be doing one side at a time. Go ahead and completely finish one side to the desired finish that I want, and then flip to the other side, do the same thing. Now hopefully when this all dries up, we'll still be able to see that emblem. You can barely make it out right now, but it should dry. And once we varnish it with the steel wool, it might bring it back out. But we go ahead and pause the video as this is setting up and drying. I will probably wait a few minutes and then take some sort of shop towel and just kind of dab off the excess. I think it's going to be nice. Well, hopefully. Okay, here we are. Just dabbed the excess off, and you can see some of those streaks we got in there in different colors. So now we're going to go ahead and grab the steel wool and go ahead and give this a little varnish and take a little bit off, and then we'll keep on applying coats on here until we get a nice even finish on it. Now we're not trying to scrub this off. Now we're simply just trying to take the first coat of it off just to allow another uniform coat underneath it. Again, I'm pretty much always going nice long strokes with it. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm just going nice long strokes with it. you see already kind of what we're working with now. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and continue this process a few more times. I'll be right back. Okay guys, here we are back. I have finished the blade. I have done the spine and underneath the handle and finger choils. Now I did 4 coats to this. It took me about 20 minutes to do. It's not very long. Now you can do this a little bit methodically and get a little bit cleaner and hand rub the blade and get all the grind lines nice and smooth. I would recommend probably go up to 600 grit or something in that ballpark to make a real pretty gun blue. But for me, this isn't a rifle's barrel. This is something that's just going to get beat up again, and this won't stay on forever. Whenever you do use this, it will come off. But it's super easy just to apply again. Now I did mention before about the grind lines, wanting to get them all blended in, and I'll show you what I mean. And I just use Scotch-Brite satin finish on there, but you can see there that glare in the screen I'm trying to use to show all the lines. You know, and that's just with Scotch-Brite. So that's why I recommend going down the blade with moving up your grits to about 600 and try to blend all those grind lines away. There's the spine done, handle, the other side. I did put a little bit on here, didn't really finish it all that well. That just handle's going to be on it anyways. It did come out fairly nice. You can still make out the emblem there. You cannot make out the RTAK emblem though. That has just been lost in the mix. So here is what it's going to look like with the handle on. Something about like that. So it is a lot darker finish than it was, and it's a very smooth finish. That's basically what I was going for. Now I am going to thin the handles out, and if you do this at home, just keep in mind the fastening bolts. Whenever you thin these out, you're more likely going to have to shorten up your stud and or your screw. I would start off with just your stud first. So obviously you're getting thinner on both sides. And, you know, these are pretty much a perfect fit going in. So just keep that in mind that you'll have to make some adjustments to those, but it's really no big deal. This video is getting pretty lengthy, so I'm not gonna show the handle unless I get enough comments and likes that you want to see the process of the handle. I will film it. I just won't post it as a part 2 or anything unless y'all want to see it, the finished product with it. But hope I didn't bore you, and I hope everyone that's watching this learned something. If you made it this far, then obviously that you're looking to do it yourself, and it's just a quick way I do it. Nothing fancy. But I appreciate y'all watching, and I will be doing a lot more videos of this nature, either build-alongs with my own knives that I make or custom jobs. I work offshore, and I do 4 and 4. 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, so there will be some times where I won't have any videos posting, but I will try to stay on top of it when I am home. So if you liked what you're seeing, go ahead and like and subscribe, and hopefully I can produce some more videos for y'all. Thanks for watching.